right, welcome back to Spooky Happy Hour. I'm your host, Bree, and on this week's episode, I'm joined by Bianca and Mike, most notably seen on YouTube with Project Fear. Thank you for being here today.
Yay! We're so
Thank
excited to
you.
be here. Thanks for having us.
I have been waiting so long to ask like a couple specific questions.
Yep.
But this is like the number one most important thing to me. And since I've been sitting on it for so long, I'm like calming myself on the inside. Your daughter played baby Nicole on an episode
Yeah.
of The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
I need to know like everything.
The coolest experience. I was not a part of any of it, but at the same time, I was so excited.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's so cool.
It was
Yeah.
a friend that reached out to us saying, hey, because they film in our area.
Her kids,
A lot. Her kids are into this.
they were on the Suicide Squad. They were the twins.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Remember?
Yeah, so she reached out and said, Handmaid's Tale's looking for a baby, and Celeste was the perfect age, hair color, eye color, and all that stuff. So I was like, why not? Let's start her working at 4 months. Let's do it. So, and then she got
Coolest
selected.
thing ever.
No, I
Mhm.
honestly had I really did not think she was going to get picked. So I was like, what are the chances? Everyone's going to apply for this. But yeah, she got picked, and it was the coolest experience. Mike's experienced stuff because he went to film school. He's done he was extras in a couple movies, but I've never experienced it. It was really cool. But you film for a couple of hours for the tiniest
2
little
seconds.
screen time.
Yeah.
She was literally probably 7 seconds on screen.
Which is a lot. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you can save and she can show all of her friends forever.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
were you like backstage the whole time? Like, did you get to watch all the production of the day, or was it just kind of like you come in for your turn and then you leave? Like, did they allow you more time?
It was for a specific scene. So, and then you're there all day and night. I was there from probably 3 p.m. till about 3 a.m. And they call you. I got called one time with Celeste, and because she's a baby, I'm with her all the time, of course. I wouldn't have let her go anyways. I wouldn't have been like, here you go. Right. Yeah, so they walk you on scene, you meet the cast, which is really cool. So I met Samira Wiley. That's who she did the scene with. Yeah, she's the nicest person ever. She was really nice. I feel really bad because you can't jump in on this at all.
Yeah, pictures with her,
Yeah,
so
and then
cool.
I saw Elizabeth Moss outside, and then
Smoking cigarettes.
yeah, so we're just Handmaid's Tale
Oh yeah, it's
I
ruined.
was gonna say it's super heavy material in there too. I'd probably be smoking a pack a day on a shoot or something.
And my mom went with her for the shoot, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, Mom, you know anything about this show?" She's like, "No, I've never seen." Oh, good.
Oh
I
no!
didn't even though I never watched it till I know.
And then we got into it.
What?
I know I never watched it, and then when I started watching it, I was like, whoa. That's what my baby
binged it. Literally binged it once for 2-3 days, and I was oh, I'm really depressed. I'm I need to stop. I need to stop watching. I need a break.
It's so true. It is very dark.
You do the months in between thing with that one. And you give it a shot. And then, okay, let's go.
Well, I think the last season aired a couple years ago. I'm like, I need a couple year break before you come back and do it all over again.
Yeah, I think that was good. I don't even think I'm ready for it to come back. So weird stuff.
It was good. It was good. We can move on.
Yeah, I feel like it could have ended there.
Yeah.
I wonder though, it being your daughter and the show being so iconic for badass women that are dismantling the patriarchal government, was there when you did realize oh wow, there's a really heavy undertone to this show, what did it mean kind of when you connected everything? Or did you have a meaning behind wow, my daughter was a part of this, even if it was for 7 seconds?
Yeah.
I don't know. How did you feel? You jump in.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, that's so funny. What a question. It was so cool to really connect with that show afterwards and be like, oh my gosh, we are gonna, I don't know, even though no one knows about it, I have that in we know how cool it is. I don't know. It's just so awesome. It's just so cool. No one's ever gonna know that she was in it, but I know.
Well, and it's something that nobody can take away from your experience ever. It's really cool.
With the undertones and the the way the show is.
I
And
love
that,
it.
oh,
I love that she was part of that.
it's so crazy.
It is so cool.
Yeah, it'll always make us think
Like
about it.
you be like those ladies. You fight.
You never
You
watch
fight
that
your
show.
baby
You
in a
never
hole, you
watch
have
that show,
to-
please. Never watch.
Don't
You're
watch
like, wait until you're like 30, and then maybe
Yeah.
maybe you can.
At least 10. It's fine.
it.
But you know, babies in the celebrity world, like you guys being with Project Fear, like we'll just get that out of the way because like I'm sure a lot of people want to know about it, and I'm sure a lot of people recognize you from the Madison Seminary video. Um, did I hear it right that it was your first investigation like ever?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Like what was it like that was your first investigation and it's with one of the biggest names in like the YouTube paranormal community?
surreal, completely surreal. Like that was not real. It was crazy.
know,
It was such a blurry, like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Every couple minutes we look at each other. This is happening right now. This is insane.
Yeah.
And there's like every day we think about it. It's like it's really affected our lives
In a good way. Yeah, in a great way.
huge way. But
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's set the bar pretty high. Tell you
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I'm sure.
That building is really something, like really something. And the universe puts you like in places. We really believe that the whole everything happens for a reason thing. But we're so in love with that building. Like it's our number one. We already booked again for this summer.
Like,
And
do
we're
you
going
feel-
to MadCon and like,
Yes.
oh yeah, we just love it.
Do you feel like that was your first location too? Like that just has your heart?
Yeah, I think it did like at first. I was like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. Like nothing will ever top it. And then something came and topped it. And then something came and topped that. And then something
That's
came and
it.
topped
Yeah, no,
that,
that's
you
cool.
know? And it was like, and I'm like, but I'll always remember it as like where it started. At the beginning of March, I think it was like March 9th. I had a memory come up on like my Snapchat and it was like me going to Hillview Manor solo for a public event. It was my first
Wow.
investigation. Like, I mean, like a real one, you know?
Yeah.
And I went like by myself and everybody else had all these different teams. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And I like forced myself. I was like, well, I'm not going home. So I like walked around by myself. At one point in time, I was on an entire floor by myself. And I was just like,
gosh.
and I was like, okay, well, I can really do this. Like it almost reinforced like I didn't need anybody else. And those
Yeah.
were some things that were like, you know, holding me back. And then the morning after Spirit Seeker Society had gotten out of the hotel room and like we ended our first road trip, I was like, oh my God, it's March 9th. Like exactly a year ago today. I was like, yeah, like I have it all over like
Oh
too
my
because it was
God.
just so cool. I was like, holy shit, like I did this by myself and I just woke up in a hotel room with like 5 other people.
Oh my God, you have me covered in goosebumps.
That's cool.
That is wild.
I think you never forget the journey. And sometimes when you
Yeah.
sit back and like look at it all, even just how much you change from one investigation to another,
Yeah.
it is surreal. It was like a perfect word
is.
to explain that.
1000%. Investigating for the first time ever, it really gave me that drive. I'm like, this is my jam. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to do this more. I want to know more. I want to try more. I want to investigate more. I want to know, what is this?
Yeah.
What is it?
The addiction comes out
Yeah.
right away, instantly.
And just to be with a group of like Project Fear who are just like, they're like cool as a cucumber now about stuff that is happening. And you're just like in your mind, you're like, oh my God, that just
Oh yeah, losing your mind.
You just want to lose it, but you're like, it's okay. No, it's
I
okay.
have to be cool and composed.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
cool
like,
and
that
smooth.
EMP was insane.
Well, the whole
I
like
mean-
Estes session was like wild. I mean, all of the like pockets of things of like evidence that was happening, and then I love when something else like corroborates it later.
Yes.
When like you feel convicted in the moment, but there's always that question mark, right? Like because we'll never really know. Like none of us are experts. So, but when you
Right.
get something to connect them together, it's like,
Yes.
ooh, I want to know more.
Yeah.
So I had to wait till the episode came out to see, because they were all freaking out when I was doing the Estes method.
Yeah, like
And I-
losing our minds.
I had no context, and they're like, "There's so much that happened." Like, and they tried telling me, and I was like, "Nothing's lining up for me." I was just
Yeah.
spewing out what I was hearing. So it was really cool for it to see it come full circle for me
Mhm.
during the episode. I was like, "Oh my God, that's what you guys were freaking out
That
about."
was so nuts. Like
It's so hard to
wanted
be
go
under.
further with it.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
because like I don't know, the perfectionist type A in me is always like as soon as I'm done I'm like, okay, how'd I do? Like
Yeah.
grade, like what happened? Like did anything make sense? And so sometimes I'm just like spewing shit, like I'll like get out of it and I'm like, I know I don't really like feel like that, like connected or
Right.
something. And people are like, oh my God. And I was like,
Right.
man,
Yeah.
like I feel like I miss out sometimes. It's like
Yes,
I'm just
I
the
totally
conduit. Like
I said that because I felt the same way. I was like, this makes no sense to me. The things that I'm saying, some things I were saying were like kind of made sense to me, but I was like,
Mhm.
I guess it didn't work out. When I took off the headphones when Tanner tapped me out, they were like, that was the best thing ever. I was like,
Yeah.
really?
To the just alone having sentences as long as you did
I
mhm.
is
know.
really wild. And like to be under and hear that and not take it off and go, what?
I
Like,
know.
I would
Yeah,
freak out. And I feel like there are some people who are just better at being under than others. And
100%.
I think that she has this way of she's very empathic. I feel like she is an empath. She has that the whole thing, but she really kind of gets into the voices. So when she was hearing things, she was kind of saying it exactly as she heard it,
That's what.
and like
Oh
the
yeah.
emotion was coming out of her, and it is really helpful that she was an empath to get that because it was like having a conversation with whoever it was instead of just Bianca
That's
hearing things. Right?
that's true. I didn't like that part though. I wish I didn't say it how I heard it.
Ooh, I
I
wish you did that
know,
all
I
the
know. I
time.
Because
did.
it
I totally
really
did.
is like it's speaking like using you. You know, it's almost like you're not even like you
Mhm.
sometimes on it, and it's like it comes
Yeah.
into you, and then like you just regurgitate it. All those senses are gone, and I feel like that deprivation sometimes too like makes you so vulnerable that like you
Yes.
Yeah.
can take on whatever's happening.
Yeah.
And that's why you guys get so freaked out when people touch you to come out of it,
Oh.
Hmm.
right?
I'm pretty sure I threw my headphones.
Yeah. They never showed Dakota coming out. And when before Dakota came out, no one had moved, no movement at all. And he began to like get into himself and get scared as if someone
Yeah.
was right next to him.
Yeah.
And like to a point where it was freaky. Like he was lifting his leg up, like he was scared. And she almost did the same thing right at the end.
I did. I had it didn't really capture, I guess, well on video, but when I said don't, you'll see my hand go up at some point. I felt
Hmm.
touching on my head and I
Mhm.
went like this. Because I was like, ooh, is someone tapping me out or is someone touching me? I'm freaking myself out. And then I heard don't when I touched my head to like shoo it away or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's what I ended up saying. But I was like, oh, you brought that up.
Yeah.
Dakota felt uncomfortable
Yeah.
beside him.
And he said it was like someone was pushing on him,
Yeah.
like getting close to
Yeah.
him. Yeah, no one was there. Like no one was
And it's like you feel that, right? Because you don't have any other choice but to rely on like what your body does and the reactions that it has. So
Yeah.
sometimes it just forces you to be like more authentically in the moment.
Yes, you're
Mhm.
right.
You're a giant REM pod, so you'll feel it.
100%. Like
Yeah.
there was I had been sitting, I was under we were at Crescent Sanatorium in prison. I was sitting on this like slab and the restricted housing unit, and I took off my headphones because I felt somebody like walk just around me like this, and I thought maybe they were like, maybe a battery died in one of the equipment that was like around me and they were doing that. And so I took my headset off and I was like, guys, will you just like chill out? And I take my like eye mask off, and they were on the second tier. Both people with me were like on the second
Yeah.
tier, because I was almost just like, will you just tell me when you're ready,
Oh my
when you're done
god.
setting stuff, because you're like confusing me and like you're distracting me. And no one was there,
That's awesome.
Oh, you
but
must
you
have
can
felt
feel
so
it,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you
Yeah.
mean.
it's like an involuntary response to just go like this.
right.
Yes, I remember squishing into
Yeah.
the bed a lot on my right side. I remember there's just
It's the
that
same thing you
feeling
did,
of I don't know
Oh,
what it
it's
was.
so weird. Yeah.
It's
Well, and I
awesome.
wonder, Mike, for you, what was the like what came over you that you were like, I have an idea. I'm going to the devil's toy box, because you had something that was really personal to both of you.
Yeah.
That was
Big time.
But it's like you had the idea to like do it. So I just wonder, like, did you feel drawn and like called
Yes.
there?
Like instantly when he did the tour with us, Adam, the owner, and he showed us everything. As soon as I saw it, and then he started telling me about it, and accidentally it's 6x6x6. I'm like, oh, accidentally.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So instantly I'm like, I have to. But as the night went on and people would notice beforehand, we were all together all the time, more or less.
Well, we separated.
And they're really right. We with the separation, and at that point, I was like, no. If I was watching the show, I would be very disappointed if someone didn't do something really terrifying to themselves or, vulnerable. So I just thought it was great. And it would be the best opportunity to do it and see what's going on there. Because I know, like, what are the odds you don't get anything sitting in this box away from people? But the level, I was not prepared for the stuff. Yeah, it was insane. And in retrospect, too, we kind of learned that it's like a grief box historically, and people would go there to contact their loved ones. They would make these scrying rooms and that kind of stuff. What did I always call it? The psychoman. It's a psychomantia. But that's where the names coming in and the things that happened were kind of like attaching to my grief, or that it makes a lot of sense.
It does.
That happened. Yeah. And then there is a lot of stuff that did not make the show. That was just like a very slivery part. And it was pretty wild. Like a lot of voices outside. There was a lot of words coming through that were very odd and weird. Like we had a lot of planets come through on the Ovulus. And then they had a bunch of planets in Sarah's room on the Ovulus, or on the PRS, or whatever it was called. So I really wanted Connor to like figure out what is lining up, because I figured there would be a few things like that. And it was only after we talked, like, yeah, we had planets too, and we had this, and like, wow, I feel like it was connected in some way.
Yeah, it's like, were you talking to the same,
right?
You know what I mean? To the same energy, or whatnot. And it's all those question marks, right? Like we won't know, but it's so cool to like make comparisons and like have those times together to say, I don't know what this is, but I know there's something here.
Yeah.
Right. That's really funny. It brings me into recently Michelle Belanger we watched her do a reading of the Madison through Katrina Weidman's show, the new episode. And she made it clear that there's one kind of thing here, but there's really nothing else that wants to interact with her. But there's like one thing there, this man, or there was some kind of energy in the background. And I really like, there was this story that she's going to tell you about. But yeah, that really hit the note. It's like you're talking to the same thing. And Adam he lives there. Like his theory really is connected to one kind of entity controlling the rest of them in that building. And experiences and stuff kind of correlate to make that make sense in a lot of ways. But her experience was really cool for that.
Well, just to tie into one thing controlling, one energy controlling whatever is at Madison, it's just interesting because when the guys were doing B-roll, myself, Sonia, and Becca were just chit-chatting in the office area. And I asked her straight up, I said, what do you think is here? She goes, I'll show you, because she does art. She showed me a picture of, she goes, I call it the puppeteer. I think there's one energy that controls everything. And I was like, that's interesting. She goes, it'd be interesting if that came up tonight. So she's like, don't tell any of the guys. And we're like, okay, cool. No, we won't. And then when we separated, where Mike and I went upstairs in the asylum and Sonia went downstairs with Alex and Chelsea, through the spirit box, they got puppeteer come through. I know. And she was freaking out and they didn't understand why until she goes, we got to go back up and see them. So when we met back up, she's like, Bianca, what is the thing that controls? I have goosebumps just saying it. And I was like, here, and they're like, ah!
Yeah, Chelsea,
they're all like freaking out. And I was like, that's wild.
Just for that. Just
for that.
But I mean, like, even if you had nothing else happen the entire night, just something like that is like, okay, it's what's going to bring me back for like the next night or a different location or
that's
whatever.
Evidence for some people. Like that's enough for some people.
That was like chef's kiss. I'm good.
Yeah, right?
If nothing else great happens like that, that is at least something that I can hold on to.
I know.
That was crazy.
And I don't know if this happens to you guys, but for me, I always call it like post-investigation amnesia. I like don't remember anything.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that, because oh my God, I actually documented, we both did. When we got home, we're like, we need to write down our experience because
Yeah, like in detail.
Yeah.
Because we will
Mhm.
forget it.
we'll forget it.
Yeah.
And even so, I didn't do that with Hinsdale. And even at dinner time, I was like, listen, I need to go through
What happened?
I'm a little bit
Something
sleep deprived.
that
with
I think
this.
is cool to do is to take a digital recorder, and when you debrief afterwards, because you usually end up regurgitating like the same stories, but like then with different points of view or
Right.
perspectives. If you just like leave it on in like a cup holder in the car or something whenever you're leaving, like you'll have that, and then you can play it back and see what like lines up even
Yeah.
after. Because like you know how that stuff
Good
like
idea.
when you're sitting there and like recounting things, like you'll just do it and then you'll think, oh wait, like even afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering like if there were anything from Madison particularly that it took a little while to process, especially because it was so personal for you guys.
Yeah. There were, yeah. Oh, like specifically,
The psychomancy.
yeah. The names, oh man, it's personal. It's crazy because like sitting down and really thinking about it, it makes so much sense. You didn't get the part, I should say, where it said, I'm trying to explain what a psychomantium is, and you relax your eyes and you gaze into the mirror, and I'm like, okay. And then the Ovulus said observe. And I said, yes, observe. I have to observe. And then it said shock. And I had said to the camera, I don't lead into stuff like that. I don't like to create a narrative that I don't have. But I just said, okay, when I observe, will I be shocked like by what I see? And then it said demon. So I'm glad they didn't put it in the show because it just would have been a weird context.
Yeah.
But for me, with my father-in-law coming through, with my sister-in-law coming through, the demon thing coming through really made sense because I feel like there was some kind of a historical curse with them, and like they had a lot of negative attachment that wasn't their like really their fault or their origin. It was like something kind of had a hold of them, or
Yeah.
like I don't even feel like it does anymore with my father-in-law.
Isn't that weird?
It's very strange. We recently got rid of a Ouija board at his house,
Mhm.
and it's like night and day.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane. And like the day that we were going to take it, he looked at me and he's like, you're going to burn it or you're not going to take it. That's it. And we're looking at each other like, yeah, we're going to burn it for sure. It's
I promise, pinky promise. Like,
definitely not burning that. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, Dad.
But
I'll
like,
burn it.
what? It's not even his. Like, it was the weirdest thing. So anyway, I digress. Yeah, it really, in hindsight, I'm like, holy crap. Like
That's
it
what
gave me the validation. And that box really did what they say it does. Do you know what I mean? For me. So yeah, the validation, thinking about it later, it's like, holy crap. And I love to think deep. And I love like we are really there and like holy moly, it breaks everything open, right? It just it breaks the matrix. You realize that coincidences are just not a thing. That's impossible, right? The odds of things happening are not a thing. Like really think about this. I took a very long time to pause before I was thinking, oh, I have to go back and get my towel in my room or something. So I go back and I run into someone I haven't seen in 2 years that they were going to be out of that elevator and out that door within 3 seconds. How did I knock into them? It's like it's supposed to happen in that way. You can't deny those things. Just embrace them because that's the way the universe is sort of set up for you to create your story and help you out. And like you'll be put into situations like you see it when you go through experiences like that.
Just to add to your psychomantium moments, just those two names coming out.
Yeah, alone. Back to back.
Yeah, so like grieving my sister-in-law's passing. My dad isn't passed, but he was going through medically for almost half a year before even going to film. Just dealing with medical stuff a lot. So like it was just so interesting that like those two stressors in our lives came out.
Yeah.
I think that's what we
It was almost like it knew that like this is what you were dealing with.
Yeah. It was like letting us know that, okay, this is happening and it's aware. And I don't know, it was really deep about it. It's like, this is, everybody knows and on the other side that this is happening or whatever, like whatever the message kind of was, you had that relief of like, oh my God, like things kind of go the way they're supposed to go. And I don't know, there's just so much more to it than hearing two names come out of a box.
I know.
Right.
Because
It's more of like the feelings and like the meaning behind stuff, and then like how it impacts you from that
Yeah.
moment further. And like that can't be captured in like
Right.
an hour YouTube video.
For any
No.
skeptic, anybody, if you watch that episode, listen to the name come out of that box. It was not Veronica.
Yeah.
The machine said Veronique.
So I'm French.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My sister and my brother married someone that was from Quebec. She was French as well, and her name is Véronique. So if you actually hear
Wow.
the audio, we were both like,
That
that
box
says
said
Véronique. That
Véronique.
doesn't even say Veronica, it says Véronique.
And we were
just mind
repeated.
blown.
We're like,
I was like,
oh my
that
God.
is her.
And that's the like,
Yeah.
it goes so deep, Brie. It's insane.
Yeah.
And like you said, like you just can't really refute it, right?
No.
Like there's nothing that that could have done that. And you would have known that more than anybody, right? Like nobody else would have really known that. And I
No.
wonder, like being French and living in Canada, I mean, so many different differences just between like the US and Canada for sure. But in terms of like
Oh no.
lifestyle, like priorities, like all of the differences that I know, like do the differences also like extend to hauntings, or like do the communities that you've been a part of, like how do they perceive like supernaturals? Is it still just like as taboo
Yeah.
as a lot of the places here?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a good question, man.
We haven't really explored a lot here.
No.
We
Yet.
really,
Well, I mean,
we
we're
haven't even done a
so
location
open.
here.
Right. We have one booked. And we almost got there.
But no, it was a
There
snowstorm.
was
But
20 feet of
Oh,
snow that
no.
day.
I can just speak from
Disgusting.
like
Yeah.
the French culture. Like
Right.
my family's from Quebec. We do not. There's like it's like they believe, but like we just don't.
They tell
talk
ghost
about
stories all
it.
the time.
Yeah,
But
we just don't
it
talk about it.
but it couldn't have been. Oh, but you don't believe in ghosts? No.
Mm.
Oh, but something grabbed you and ripped your shirt off and said, "Hey, I'm a ghost." And you're like, yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
But it
Oh, I don't
didn't
believe in that.
happen.
Oh my gosh. No, it's just that cynicism or that skepticism from people, and whether it is like
I feel like it's really big here. A
Yeah.
lot of people are not open.
it's one or the other. And when you do meet the middle, because you meet people who are like, yeah, I'm open to it, but like you can't overbear them with all the stuff.
No.
You have to say like, great, like just keep going, don't stop, because
I feel like in
some
the States
point
it's way
it'll
bigger,
blow your mind open.
a way bigger community
Yeah.
than here.
We're waiting for it to happen here. We're waiting.
Yeah.
You're like, somebody come here. This is a beacon.
Yeah.
I'm putting a message out. Like,
I
try, but-
know, but I
yeah.
just feel like the culture is way bigger in the States than it is here, and I think that's why we're more prone to go to locations in the States.
Yeah.
It's really hard to book a location here. It's really hard to find a community here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's leaving you traveling back and forth a lot. I mean, you're not so far, but you're far.
Yeah.
Enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Far
Yeah.
enough.
We're limited on where we can go right now.
For now.
I feel like
Childcare.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's like one of the other things I wanted to ask about too. Like a lot of people don't talk about being parents and being in the field too. So I live with my mom. She's downstairs right now entertaining my child while I'm up here. And
Thanks, Mom.
she usually is like, "Hey, don't bring anything home. Don't bring anything home." I'm
No.
like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Okay, I really try not to. Like I do everything in my power to, but like I don't know, sometimes you got hitchhikers and that just happens. I don't know." But one of my biggest fears, right, is like bringing something home like to my kid, because I think that the way he acts sometimes in the middle of the night is my barometer of what's happening in my house. Because he will, like, for 2 weeks, right? Maybe he'll just stay in his room and sleep all night, never come into my room. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, bud, like you're doing awesome. Like, no even to like wake up and pee." I'm like, "Hell yeah,
like,
buddy."
we've hit that time in our life.
Right. I'm like,
And
this is amazing. And then one night, like, and I can see him. I like literally lay in this bed and I can see him in his room across the hallway. And I see him just like wake up in the middle of the night, doesn't say anything, doesn't turn his head, and just like points to like in front of him. And I was like, what is happening? What is
No.
happening? What is happening? What is happening? And then he just like takes his hand back down and he just like goes
Oh
right back to sleep. And
no.
I was like, I literally have chills over my body. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Like, what does this like mean?
Mm,
Right. So, and of course, like he's watched Project Fear, he's watched like other like Hocus Pocus, even, or just something to that element, right? And he would come into my room sometimes and he'd be like, the witch is here, the witch is here. And I was like, but like, there's no, and it's so hard because like as a person who investigates like the unknown and stuff, I'm like, oh no, 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 no. And I'm
yeah,
like,
right.
how do
You're like, but
you
what does she look like, this witch?
Yeah, yeah.
right? I was just like, well, you can tell her, like, back off, bitch, it's my room. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're allowed to do that. So
My
it's like
mom bought it.
he like does like ritual type stuff with me in like terms of cleansing his room. I got him his
Yeah.
own like, witches bells just because I want him to take that ownership. And it was like, okay, you're a kid, you're 5, like you have a lot of dreams. He calls them bad night dreams. And I had the girls over last weekend and we stayed at my house for one night before we departed for our road trip.
Right.
And Becca was sleeping in the corner where he like would point from time to time, and Emily was sleeping in his bed. And in the morning, Emily was like, "Hey, like I don't want to freak you out." And I didn't really tell, a lot of
Yeah.
people this, but when she woke up, she's like, "I don't want to freak you out, but like in the corner over there with where his alarm clock was, I woke up in the middle of the night to pee. When I came in, there was this like black mist and I couldn't see the alarm clock anymore, and it was right atop over top Becca and she was sleeping."
Mm-mm.
And I was like, "Okay, wait a minute, like, is my kid onto something? Like, is this actually happening type deal?"
Oh,
And so it was just strange, like, that they didn't know, but then ended up corroborating that, and it was that link. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And now, like, since they've been here, as soon as I came back, we did a cleanse, witches bells, and everything, and he's been sleeping in his own room now
that's
for, like, the last
wild.
That's
We
really
kind of
crazy.
feel the same. Like when we came back from Madison, things were kind of chaotic in our
Yeah, we brought
our
something back.
house.
We definitely brought
My
something back.
we live in a semi-detached house. I remember my neighbor was
Mhm.
like, I don't know what you brought home, but I
Mhm.
want it gone. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? She's like, and she's like has videos in her garage, just like things being picked up and dropped. And I was like,
I
what? And she
just
goes,
watched it 2 days ago.
yeah, we're showing our friend
And it gets picked up and pulled back.
dropped.
It was wild.
It
And that
is-
was just one of 3 or 4 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
like-
gosh.
I too, as a mom, have a fear. I'm like, I don't want to bring anything home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel things rile up, or like energy, or like just even, I don't know, you feel kind of not dark, but just like that. And you know
That
what? I need to
depression,
cleanse
yeah.
my house.
Yep.
I need to cleanse my children.
Just
Like,
energy
Really?
reset.
yeah, you do. And it just it's funny that you bring that up, because I'm glad I'm not alone in feeling like that, because I don't want to bring anything
I'm worried
home
too
for
about
my
it.
kids.
Yeah, but it is that protection that this is like your protection, right?
Yeah.
Keep yourself strong and faith or whatever it is, and yeah, I
Your
mean,
intention.
yeah, keep that armor up in a
Yeah.
way, you know what I mean, and just be strong about it. I
Well,
don't know.
before you guys had kinda went back from your break at Madison, well, the break that they showed in the video, and then you went back, Bianca, you were saying, like, you, like, crossed yourself and kind of, like, made a prayer motion, so I'm like, what certain things do you do to kind of prepare for an investigation or protect yourself?
I know I said I do this. I'm not religious. It was just one of those like, please.
I do that in some moments.
Yeah,
so-
it's just,
Sure, yeah.
You know?
I grew up Catholic, but I'm more like on the spiritual side of things, and I'm not religious by any means. But like, we did get into like crystals and stones, meditative practices, and just I think just reinforcing our intentions and like our like strength, and like you stay here, you're not allowed to follow me home, and
Mhm.
that is
Intention.
intention.
We know the power of intention. We kind of put more effort, like more oomph into it,
Yeah.
you know, and energy is really what everything is. So focusing it in positive ways and meditating. The crystal things are really cool because we can
Yeah.
kind of put the intention of what you think the energy is, and then it'll sort of in your brain feed you that. Like, you know, you create it yourself in a way, but Yeah, or that could be the
Yeah.
third, but
Before we went to
Yeah.
the Madison, we had crystals and stones on.
yep,
Did I
we
feel
sure
the
did.
same about the Madison?
It was wild
That's
because
funny.
Sonia, so the other girl with us, and we didn't say anything to PF about it. And
Can we
but
just say what we brought?
Right, we should.
Yes, we should.
Yeah. We brought.
No one knows this.
We had
Exclusive.
Moldavite with us. It's like Moldavite is a tektite. It's like a glass that was found in the Czech Republic from 14
In
million
Moldova.
years ago. Yeah, the region of Moldova. So this asteroid went right into the center of the Earth, and the dirt turned into this glass. And it's like a super powerful. I know you are aware of this, Brie. I'm sure of Moldavite.
No, you're breaking it down for her.
Crazy
Tell me.
vibration stuff. So we did have our Moldavite with us, and then Sonia sort of shows me. She's like, "Well, I have my," and everything is moon rocks. She's got moon rocks, moon dust here. She got all of her moonstone stuff. She was just witched out. And then doing the Estes, and Bianca says the witch. That was the witch that said that, and like it called Sonia the witch. It didn't make it on the episode. So Sonia's like, "Did it just call me a witch?" I'm like, yeah, it totally called you a witch.
Sure did.
Yeah, I know why it did too. Like,
So we brought other stones to like protect ourselves, but also amplify.
Yeah, that was the intention. Like,
yeah,
let's
but
get that
I'm like, we're not
going.
saying shit.
No.
You don't say shit to nobody,
Right? We're taking this to the grave.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're not.
But okay, it's done now.
I think that we do that though too, because with the intention, right? If we go in there with an intention of like, I really want to like push the limits, it's like, okay, how do I push the limits and how do I do that safely? And so trying to have that like balance between one and another. And I wonder, like, for you yourselves, recently investigating the Hinsdale house, did those live up to your expectations? Was it something that you felt like, oh man, I have to like ramp this up, or like, oh, I need to protect myself extra hard because of all of the, I don't know, stories about it? Like, how did it live up to your expectations?
It's so funny you asked that question.
She's good at this.
You've done this before.
Time or two.
We went in there with, I don't know if it's because the group that we went with has such a happy, joking around energy. Your group kind of seems like that to me, like just fun.
It's new.
We have so much fun together.
Such a good connection.
So we were setting up our equipment, laughing, joking, and just taking equipment out, whatnot, and it was going off like crazy. But we weren't ready to investigate. We were not.
Meh, just ignore it.
Yeah, we're like, it's okay. We'll get to it. We got to unpack. We got to do this. We got to eat dinner. So, and then we were ready to investigate. We're like,
where are you guys?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
It was crazy.
But they weren't. It was such a slow amp up to it where we decided, I think I told you, we did a seance. And we were doing it in terms of like trying to address whoever's here. And nothing was really happening. I'm going to have goosebumps just saying. I just remember Jeff Fent saying to Jason, was leading the seance. He goes, "Jason, address the house." And he goes, "Hinsdale Hills." I have goosebumps.
I just felt it too.
The energy we got so fucking quiet.
Every person felt the shift. Like you could feel the whole shift.
Yeah.
And it was really weird because it was like I'm getting goosebumps too. It was full chills and your heart stops and you're like, oh my gosh, it's as if there's 5 guys just standing around the circle with their arms on your shoulder. And you're like, oh my God, whoops. Like we shouldn't be in this house right now.
You're like, oh shit.
That's what it felt like. But when we, like she said, we went in there with this, oh, this is so great. No, guys, I love you. It was so much fun. And then we realized like maybe we hindered the way that it had worked because our energy was so positive.
But after that,
but the things, I mean, we didn't have those expectations. I think going back to your question, like
I did.
I just thought I really was looking forward to meeting Jeff and being and seeing Hinsdale. And like I kind of just forgot about everything about Hinsdale. Like I just
You're in the moment.
yeah, I was so in the moment.
Right.
Actually, that's a big part of what I do now.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's so many like stories out there that like either contradict each other or are like massive leaps and bounds from I think where it started. So
Yes.
sometimes I think like in that particular location, you can get really lost in like the
Oh, dude.
emotional whiplash
Yes.
of information.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Where do
learning
you
the new
start?
stuff. I mean, learning about the land itself because we didn't know as much. Like that those soldiers came in and just decimated the native people in that area, like right on that land. And that he's finding bodies currently and he's staked 5 or 6 out on like right on that property. And it is so insane. Like I didn't know any of that until we
Yeah.
got there later on and Jeff started telling us that. And that changed a lot. You know,
Yeah, it like begs the question, is it the house or the land?
Yeah,
Right.
I
oh man.
feel like it's the land. Only
Right.
because the experience of doing that seance, addressing the house as a whole and not just the family, like the Dandy family that lived there or
Mhm.
something, it just shifted everything for me. And then what happened at the Giving Tree, I was like, oh, I don't think we're dealing with something.
Yeah, that
It's
was
like
it
and
was
like you
telling.
said, there's a million stories about the Hinsdale house.
Yeah. You have to go with your experience.
Yeah.
Really, what are you going to do?
I feel like it's the house now. What about you?
Yeah, I agree because I mean, our experience at the Giving Tree was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like our fearless leader, a really good friend Jay McGray, author, great guy, check his book out. He did this cry out and it was like his native war cry that he knew from friends of his. But when he let it out and all of us had heard some kind of a reply as he was doing it. Like it wasn't his echo. We also, I know my timing's
Hold
off,
on.
but
So
we
hold on. You got to
also
make
heard,
sure that when he did his cry,
Yeah.
there was like a wolf howl back. We all
Yeah.
stopped and went, "Wow, that was so." The timing was
Yeah.
so cool. If that's a wolf, like that,
yeah,
that
and
was
then
great. And then after,
well, Jeff says, like, I raised wolves. I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
Here. And that was a wolf. He's like, that was not a
Yeah.
coyote. I've raised wolves.
We also heard it while we were there.
What?
We also heard,
Yeah.
like, we were outside. There were 2 of us outside. Everyone else was in the house. I went outside to smoke, and we had, like, heard it, and I said, "That doesn't sound like a dog."
Right.
And she was like, "Dude, is that like a wolf? Like, are we in like wolf kind of country?" And I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
fuck, I don't know." And so like I removed my smoke and I went back into the house because I was like, I don't want to freaking find out. Like, I don't want to be on the other side of something and turn around. It's just like staring at me in my eyeballs. Like, I don't want to die today. So yeah, no, we went back in. But that's funny that you said that because we had that like kind of question mark. I was like, "What a dog?"
So
No.
weird.
Oh, it was
I'm glad you
wild.
guys had that. For us, it wasn't the wolf howling, it was what came after.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Jay did, but what happened after the wolf call sounded like, all I can take it as is like a native cheer.
Did he do the death whistle then?
No, he didn't do the death.
Okay, thank God.
I don't think so.
No, he had a Aztec death whistle with him, and I know he let it off, but I don't know if it was at that time. And then he had done a war cry. So like in one of those replies, we had heard like a very quick echo or sound coming back that was similar to what he did, but more than just me. Like we all heard it.
It wasn't an echo because it was like a
Yeah.
cheer. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's kind of what kicked off? Everything was more of like the ritualistic type or like
Yes.
cultural practices.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we all did
think
it.
that got, because after that it was like I hate to say we were chicken shit and did not sleep upstairs because of what happened, and we're gonna go back and sleep upstairs. So I'm like, I can't believe that we were chicken shit and didn't sleep upstairs.
Well, in the moment, it's like, yeah, I'm not
It's
sleeping.
okay. We didn't sleep there either.
It's not happening.
We didn't sleep there either. Emily lives close by. We were like, we're going home and hanging out with her dogs and cuddling there. Like, that's fine. We need our like beauty sleep for like the investigation the next day. So I was like,
Oh, that's
rough.
so funny. We
It's
didn't
rough.
sleep upstairs because as we were getting ready for bed, whoever was in the bathroom heard the loudest stomp
running up
and
the
then
stairs. Yeah.
and then when she came out, she's like, who the hell was running up the stairs like that? Kind of saying like, you guys are ridiculous. Like, you're gonna break the stairs
Yeah.
type thing.
Mhm.
And then we're all like, no
Nope.
one
You
went
didn't hear
upstairs.
it though?
None
No.
of us.
And she said, Mike, like when you went upstairs, I'm like, what do you mean I went upstairs? No one went upstairs. Like, I was standing at the stairs. And then but now she had said it to, actually, then she said it. She had thought it was the basement stairs at first.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Don't tell
Because it's
me.
right.
I had a
beneath-
team member in the bathroom and she was
Stop
like,
it.
didn't want to go into the bathroom, but she went into the bathroom literally mid pee, just stopped because she heard bump, 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 and a hit on the door.
No!
From the basement
Oh!
stairs.
That's exactly what happened to our friend. 'Cause she's
Yeah.
like,
It's
she's
so
because
scary.
she's
Wild.
like
Yeah.
thinking
Oh.
it's someone, but her thought was like, if this was paranormal, why the hell are you waiting mid pee? I can't run.
Yeah.
That's wild.
She like let out this like wail too, so
Oh
we were
my
like, "What is
God.
happening?"
I
And
am
it was
mind
so
blown.
strange. Like I got all the body chills too.
Is that a
And
thing? Like,
people need to know though too, we were supposed to do this episode like a month ago.
Yes.
Like this interview was supposed to happen, I think, like a month ago, but we waited until after I had a chance to go to Hinsdale, and then we were gonna like come back and kind of compare experiences and how cool is it that
Oh
we
my
did,
God.
and that
I
these
am
are the
so
things that are
glad
coming
that
up.
we did.
what? Yeah.
Oh,
That's crazy.
I am mind blown right now.
There was so much.
That
Like
is
after
wild.
that, it's when all the craziness. Because we did a
Yes.
4-person
Mm.
Estes, which
That
was
was cool.
really awesome. Like wild.
Yeah.
I never thought I would ever be a part of anything like that.
Like
To
we're all
come
4
out-
of you under, and there was like
Yeah.
one person that was
Under.
doing that.
Yeah.
We were like at one point talking to each other, and then
Mhm.
by the end of it, Mike and Jay, whoever was coming through, hated Jeff. He said Jeff a few
Really?
times, called
Yep.
him an asshole, called him a bitch.
Yep. Kept threatening
Like
to kill
the-
him, die.
and- And Jeff was like, "What channel were you guys on?" We're like, AM. And he goes, That's even more
not gonna
wild.
say
Weirder.
That's
You
a
hate
puss
me.
on, like, you know, like they're not going to say words like that. And it was clear as day.
Yeah.
And we said it. That was really crazy. Is Jay and I said these things at the same time.
Mhm.
The words were coming out at the same time. And like, what are the friggin' odds, man? We're not sweeping at the same time. Like, it's just
Right, and you're not listening to the same thing. You have no idea what's really being asked or
No clue,
said
no.
anyway.
I couldn't
Yeah.
hear him. Like, I didn't know it was coming out at the same time. I had
That
no
was
idea.
a cool experience.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
we were kind of chilling out for the night. And then they have censored lights at the top of the stairs that
Mhm.
kept going off. And
That
that's where
thing
we were
freaked
like,
me out.
so we tried
man.
to throw things at it because we're like, maybe there's a lot of flies in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're like,
Yeah.
maybe it's the flies setting it off. So we're like throwing little things and it wasn't setting on off. And we're like, I think we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
sleep on
think
the couch.
I just got this feeling like, hey, come check the light out. It's going, come on up.
Yeah.
Come check it out. I'm like, I'm not going to check
And
it
you're
out.
like, no, thank you. Invitation declined.
Yeah.
Next time.
So
But
knowing that there's not a lot of locations around you or like nearby, and you do have to come to the US quite a bit, are there any paranormal plans for 2025? I know you mentioned already having like something booked in the summer, and so yeah, what's up for the duo this year?
So we're in 2 weeks going to this place called the Beck House. It's like a house from the 1800s that's like up north.
Oh, it's up north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very up north.
Yeah. That'll
Uh-huh.
be interesting. There's not a lot of history to this house at
Right.
all.
I find it interesting that it's this big, like advertised as a haunted house. The owner is super skeptic, but there's only 2 apartments on the top floors that are rentable, and everyone else lives in the building. Those are like actual people who live in the building,
Mhm.
renting the building.
It's
So,
such
like,
an odd situation, but
You can just rent a haunted house, like you live there.
it's an
Like,
Airbnb.
what?
It's
This is
an
wild.
Airbnb.
Yeah, so it's
My
just like, oh, it's just a house. Like, go on.
Yeah. So we have that. We
That's
booked the
kinda something.
Madison again.
Yeah,
Mm.
that is very
where else
exciting.
Did we book?
because we're gonna hopefully investigate with Adam this time and Becca, and do their
Oh, that would be
crazy
awesome.
stuff, because they're awesome. Yeah, they're very
Well, and I
wild.
think that like when you have somebody who's like put like literal blood, sweat, and tears like into a place and they know its energy better than anybody else, like you'll have a totally different experience, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah, completely.
1000%. Because I like I like that Adam, because I'm still torn about the Sarah story. I'm like, I
Mhm.
really don't think that there's a Sarah. I really don't.
Right. And that's what I loved Adam
Saying it,
said.
yeah. He's like,
Legit,
I think it's
Elizabeth next
Elizabeth
door
across
comes
the
over and
hall.
gets the attention by pretending she's Sarah. Like,
That
for
makes
sure.
sense. Well, and
Yeah.
it's like, why can't any of it exist or all of it exist all at the same time, right? Because I think
Yeah.
that sometimes people get so wrapped up in
Mhm.
a story. Maybe it's because they've had a similar experience, like at like one location over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, maybe that's validity. Or
Right.
like you're saying, like, we will never really know. Maybe it's just something else that like wants to have some
Yeah.
interaction. So it's like, I'll just be whoever you want me to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
fine.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
that's fine, I guess. Because, yeah, if people want a narrative to go, and then you got other people who really want to just do these experiments and find out and not lead on like Sarah, or you're a demon. Like, no, they just
Mhm.
want to know what you're capable of, or if
Yeah.
there is energy, or can you do something like know a word that you shouldn't know, like
Mhm.
validity, like you said. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's so cool,
That's
whether
why.
they want to tell their story or not, which is
Yeah.
also a cool aspect of it.
Mhm.
So much, the possibilities. You know?
Yeah, because we didn't get in depth about, not a lot of information about whoever was communicating.
No,
We didn't get a lot of information.
it started the way
It was
it
very
ended. It
surface
was a
level.
circle. It was so messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that it was nothing and it was just like an egregore, because that made sense. But then you could also say that it was like someone named Sarah
Frisbee.
who was trying to mess with Alex because he was being a jerk to her.
Yeah, I
It
don't know.
made
Yeah.
sense, you know?
Well, and like you can have
Yeah.
so many of those narratives and we won't know, but I think that that's where like the legends and the lore come up, is that like if people have similar ones or they go in there and they look for it, like
Yeah.
it just goes and goes and goes. I'm wondering for each of you, like individually, what is one thing that you want to do investigating wise this year that would push your own boundaries and limits that you're kind of excited to try?
Oh, it terrifies me to be blindfolded, like
Yeah.
your story of you being alone under. I'd have to push myself to do that
Mhm.
alone. I would have to.
It's
That,
gonna
and
happen.
I want to do it. I
It
want to
will
push
happen.
myself. I want to do it.
Yep.
I have to do it one day.
Oh,
That's my thing. I want to do. I want to feel that aloneness. I don't know, and
Mhm.
just see what comes too.
And you'll, I think that when you do, you'll like tap into like kind of strengths and stuff that like you knew were there, but maybe you didn't like feel. And I think that that will come up at that time. And afterwards, you look back and be like, I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope I live up to that expectation.
Oh yeah, she
I
set
think
the
that you
bar high,
will.
man.
I
She
do.
set
I
the
think
bar
that
high.
you will.
I hope
Because I think that
so.
you, when you do anything that you're pushing yourself to do and you conquer it, it feels that way anyway. Even
That's
if it's just like, I haven't showered in 2 days and I went to the grocery store. Hell yeah. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
get
I
that
did that
feeling.
today.
I get that. Yeah, for sure. That's mine.
Little
What's
wins.
yours?
I don't know. I mean, I've just had such an urge to like sit in a space and get the energy on my own with nothing else, like just meditate in a place for like an extended period of time, and just really feel the energy out. I really want to do that, but putting myself in those terrifying positions, I love it. I want to do that over and over again. I should have slept upstairs at Hinsdale. I should have
We
friggin'
all
done it.
regret it.
And like I will one day, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I want to say yes to every opportunity. I want to, look at places here, of course. Yeah, I just want to open the gates and start doing this like crazy.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
want
it's
you
Opening
to-
up your energy is scary.
Yes.
Mhm.
You got to
Mhm.
join us one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
110%. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Let's go
Whenever,
see
wherever.
the
I'm gonna bring like a portable fly zapper.
That's
And
a
that's like
great
just what like we'll hear all night is like zzz, zzz, zzz.
You know what I said? I am bringing just the netting, the shell of my tent.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That way I sleep in peace.
It's a
Oh
good
my
idea.
gosh, wouldn't it be crazy? I was just thinking about like those 2 trees out in front of Hinsdale. If I just like took my hammock and like put it outside and just like strung up for a little while and just like chilled and hung out in a sleeping bag, like
That'd
I
be
definitely
pretty
wouldn't do that
great.
shit alone.
Would you?
But
Dude,
fuck
you're
no.
gonna watch Sasquatch walk by the window. Like,
Yeah, like hell no. Well, and offline, I'm going to tell you some Hinsdale stories because we haven't dropped that video yet. So you're going to get the exclusive. We're
Yes!
coming into our final
Yay!
segment of the episode. It's called Concoctions and Conundrums.
Yep.
So we're going to see what the viewers came up with. Both of you will pick a number between 1 to 25, and then I'm going to ask that question associated with that number, and then you'll answer it, and we'll see what you come up with.
Okay.
All right.
I'm horrible
So
at these games. I am.
How can you be bad in a
I'm
game
really
that's
bad
just
at these
chance?
because when I
don't
was
worry, there's no losers, I swear.
when I was listening to your podcast episodes, I was like, I don't know what I'd say. Oh my God, I have nothing. Anyway,
So you can't ever come prepared here.
He doesn't overthink at all.
No, anxiety, what's that? I don't know.
never heard of it.
So Mike, I'll start with you then. Between 1 to 25, what number is just calling
The
out at you?
number is 8.
Ooh, 8. Okay. What determines if a person becomes a ghost after death?
Oh.
The size of the bullet. No, seriously, there's in my mind, with my weirdness, I'm just gonna come out and create a weird scenario.
Everyone
Bring it.
Okay.
Here we go. So I believe that you have that option, like, okay, the death occurs, the ancestors are there, whatever it may be. They don't have to be blood related, it can be whatever, and then you're going in, right? You might do your life retrospect. There might be a whole thing in that like 40-day transition period. Who knows? There could be a whole thing. But staying behind, if you don't realize you're dead, if there's an extreme amount of trauma involved within the murder or the situation or whatever, if there's a lot of unfinished energy, a lot of like unsorted energy, I think that can really manifest itself. So whether that's a ghost or whether that's the problem being left behind, a lot of that.
Sounds like chaos almost. Like if I had like a word to describe all that.
On the other side, I think that there is some organization in a way that like they're always there. So everyone's a ghost, like who's ever been. And when they're ready to kind of be forward, they can. But who knows if they ever have to, or if there's just, if it's a collective of energy that comes forward with, like, who knows? But I believe that all energy is out there when you're dead, whether that's simple or not. But
kind of like when you're just like coexisting in this living world with like the spiritual realm. Like you could be walking next to somebody like in the grocery store and they're doing the same thing like on the other side, but it's just like kind of their choice or like their
100%.
circumstances that allow them to interact.
100%. So if it's not like the other side of the veil kind of thing, it is sort of they're in what's happening now. So when you hear people say things like collective energy or we're all one, right? When like your energy leaves your body, it kind of mingles in with all the other energy around. So it has influence then on what's around it also, right? Because its energy is part of the energy around it. So it can manifest itself or it can change the energy around it, right? I know
that oneness. Really it's like that oneness theory.
But the oneness really helps because that energy can affect the other energy. That's sort of my thought.
That was very deep.
Was that deep?
My answer was not that deep.
I was gonna say Mike's like the deep thinker, and he totally told us that beforehand. He's like,
it is not that simple. Life is not that easy. It is
no, and it's right, you're not. And I love to hear people's perspectives on it because I do think that people, it's like one of those 2 a.m., 3 a.m. like thoughts of like, we just had one the other day, and I'm like, do ghosts get cold or hot? You know what I mean? Like we just gotta we're thinking about it the other day, and I was like,
so
do they
funny.
Feel hunger? Can they be tired?
Like, are they touching us? Like, oh, it's warm. It's a warm spot. It's a warm spot.
I'm gonna snuggle.
That's right. It's just like these certified yappers over here in this room. Like, let's go over there. They've put out a lot of hot heat. Like it's just like, how do they like observe us like we observe them?
They stand in our spot and like pretend they're us and like, ooh, I have a body. I have a body, right? That's what I do.
I'm Bianca.
I had somebody send me like a video today, and it was like, ghosts are only scary because we can't see them. What if we could? And there's just this
Yeah.
guy that's going like this to the door,
Yes, I
like holding
remember
up this
seeing
like chair or something. And I was like, how funny would it be if it was
would
something
be.
that we could see?
Yeah, it's just some lazy guy throwing plates on the ground,
Yeah.
smashing them. Just look at me. Look at me. He's not a demon.
Oh man, it would be so
Yeah.
funny.
I feel like I need to like think about that stuff sometimes because it might lighten the mood, make me less scared.
Yeah,
Let's picture that.
for
Yeah,
sure.
much better.
Bianca, what is your number 1 to 25?
4.
Ooh, 4. All right. Do you think that dreams have clues or messages?
I very much do.
Oh,
Both.
see, that was right on.
Oh, it's
Look
one
at
or the
you.
other.
It's one or the other.
No, I mean, like, no,
Oh,
it
yes,
is.
just kidding.
No, that's what I was asking. Do you feel like they have clues or messages? Both, you
Or
know.
none. Okay.
Yeah, not like an and or, like a both situation. I was gonna say, you said you would suck at answering, and you did like bam, right like that. You're like,
Jump on it.
yes, I do.
I feel like I answered yes to a question of like, do you like burgers or tacos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Have you had any dreams that you feel like have been like messages from maybe like loved ones or the universe, or maybe that had like some type of clue later when you're like, oh, maybe that's why I had that pop up in my dream?
Very much both situations. That's why I said yes. I can't pinpoint right now, but I've definitely woken up and thought that was not a dream.
Right.
That was a message, or that was not a dream. I feel like that's something like this will happen. Just type thing. I can't pinpoint an exact situation or dream. I can't recall, but
Connections with friends, like your best friend, like I feel like you've had sort of thoughts and stuff at night about her, and then you've
dreams
had
and
weird
whatnot.
connections
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And they're never straightforward. I'm
No.
sure everyone feels like that. You almost have to dissect them, but just you wake up. I wake up feeling differently, just thinking that was not a dream. That
Like there
has
was
like
something
huge-
significant in there until like this moment in time.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I just have to dissect it. Like, you know, if I was dreaming about a bear, I'm like, okay, what was that bear representing? And why couldn't I move forward? Or just little things like that. But yeah, I very much
It's
very
that
much believe in that.
subjective perspective,
Yeah.
because I think that too, all of those meanings and the stuff that we make from them comes from our own subconscious. So whether we like know it or not, we always have the answers already with us. And
Yeah.
it's just like, how do I get them? How
Yeah.
do I like take them out?
It's the puzzle pieces
Yeah.
that fall in. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I'm glad all the puzzle pieces aligned for us to be able to be here today. So thank you guys so much for being here. After we investigate together, we're going to have to do a part 2.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And for
Pencil
all of
me in.
you that are listening or watching, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to be alerted of future episodes that happen here on Thirsty Thursdays. All the links that you can find Bianca and Mike at, that will be posted in the description below. So thank you again, and I'm cheersing you for next time.
Cheers.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.